What is up, guys? Speed here, and today we're going to be talking about some of the strongest lane combos currently that exist in Dota. These are meta heroes that are particularly strong, and when paired together, do even better. So if you want to stop your laning stage, all you got to do is absolutely obliterate that like button, smash it to the ends of the earth so that we can get into this video, break it as well if you will, and of course, sign up to the gameleap website. We have really great content coming up. I just did another coaching session where I talked about anti-mage, split pushing, how you can win games that are seemingly unwinnable. That is discussed over on the gameleap website. So click the link down below and I'll see you there. Alright, so let's get into our first combination. And this is one I've discussed before on this channel, but it has to be on this list at number 6. The reason why it has to come on this list at number 6 is because it's just that good. Venomancer Clockwork just has so much synergy, not even just in the lane too, which is why it has to be here, even though I've mentioned it before. In the mid game, and I know I'm just prefacing, but in the mid game, these two heroes work so well. The Clockwork sets up things for Veno, it provides vision so Veno can't get ganked as easily, it is the stun that Veno lacks, and most importantly, if you catch someone out and you cogs them in, Veno can deal a ton of damage and it's a guaranteed kill. Now, let's talk about the lane. How do you deal with the level 3 power spike of Venomancer and Clockwork, when Venomancer is either 0-2-1 or 1-2-0, and the Clockwork is 2-1-0 with 2 points in his battery assault, and Veno has 2 points in his poison sting? How do you win that lane? You need very specific heroes that honestly barely come to my mind. Like maybe Oracle could do okay, but even then he can't purge poison sting, so like that goes out the window. And if it is an Oracle lane, you just don't take Gale, you take your wards instead, and there's just so many workarounds, no matter what you pick. Even if you pick, let's say, an anti-mage, you're like, oh, just blink out of it. Okay, you're gonna blink out of it once, you're gonna come back to the lane, he's gonna poison sting you again. Then what do you do? Like, literally, what do you do? It's just so much damage, and if you ever even get caught relatively out of position, you're guaranteed dead. This is like one of those lanes that 90% of heroes, if they get caught out, you're just dead. You're dead. It takes so little synergy too. All you have to do is auto-attack someone as Veno, and then Gale them, and then Clockwork runs in and Qs, and they're dead. And so if you're playing with any sort of friend in a duo queue environment, which frankly I think is one of the best ways to learn Dota, I used to do duo queue with quite a few people when I was not only an offlaner, but also when I was playing a bit of position 4 in my ranked journey. I thought, dual laning was just such a good way to learn. I remember the good old days of Necro Spirit Breaker, or Lifestealer Sand King, or Rubik, whatever. I don't know, but it was such a good time. It taught me a lot about how to crush the lane, and getting that synergy down with a partner, especially with something like Veno Clock, is just going to win you so much MMR. Next up is the notorious combo of Darkseer Spirit Breaker. Now, I also want to mention Darkseer Clockwork, as I actually think that combo is a little bit better. Not necessarily in the entire state of the game, but at least in the lane. I think Darkseer Clockwork is better in the lane, and Darkseer Spirit Breaker is slightly better mid-game if you do well in the lane. There's some factors that come into play there. And really, these heroes are just good in lane for their pure dive potential. Currently, how Darkseer is being played is less of a wave cutter like he used to be. Like, literally, in the past, Darkseer would just cut wave every single game. But now, you don't really do that, right? You don't do that nearly as much anymore. What Darkseer likes to do is put 2 shells on the first wave, or you can shell yourself, or your position 4 as well, and then dive, or you side pull. It's one or the other. Regardless, I want you guys to think about this scenario. You push in the lane with Darkseer, it's a minute and 30 seconds in, and your Spirit Breaker side pulls the wave. So now, the enemy team has to contest a wave against a Darkseer. Maybe it's even minute 230, and you have level 2 shell. Something like that, right? You're level 3 on Darkseer, level 2 shell. They have to walk over on a Terrorblade, or a Drow Ranger, to contest the side camp, and you have a Darkseer and a Spirit Breaker Ion Shell, and you run at them. What's going to happen? They're going to die. So really, the main thing to think about when you're playing these Darkseer lanes are one of 2 things. Number 1, can I side pull to cause the enemy to have to rotate over to the side camp contested, or can I shove in the wave quick enough to the point where I can dive the tower, right? Because the key to playing Darkseer and Spirit Breaker, or Darkseer Clockwork, is the fact that you can do a lot of damage without aggroing tower. right? Most heroes in the early game, level 1 and level 2, have to auto-attack to do the large majority of their damage. Usually their spells just enable more auto-attacks. But for Darkseer, that kind of, he just changes up the game, and what you can do is shove in the wave, use the wave as your barrier, do not auto-attack, close them in, and that's why Clockwork is so good in the lane. You turn on your Q with an Ion Shell, boom, it's just a free win. Next up is Sven Ogre, and this is one I actually recently did a VOD analysis on for the gameleap website. I talked about Fenrir's Ogre Magi, making a course for that over there, but the reason why I think this lane is so good is because Sven needs not much in lane. The hero has a good stun, just needs a decent start to get some CS, a little bit of space, has such high damage. If it gets given that space, it's going to get all the denies, all the CS. And really what Ogre is good at doing is opening up the lane, or those first early levels, for Sven to get free farm. Then, if Ogre gets on top of someone, let's say it's a position 4 Rubik, you have the Sven throw over a stun. That stun is unbelievably valuable because when you pair 2 stuns together, people can't man up. Now, if you only have an Ogre, and then let's say your carry is a Spectre, sure, the Spectre can help out with a dagger, it's not bad, but the Rubik doesn't have to be nearly as concerned. The effects of Sven stun are much more drastic than, let's say, an early game Slark Pounce, where he has to shift all the way over and land a Pounce, or a Spectre Dagger, or even a TB Metamorphosis in some regards, even though TB Ogre is quite a good lane. The point is that Ogre with the Sven is really strong. You have way too much magical damage, and the greatest thing is these heroes mid-game, really the entire game, pair so well together for a couple of reasons. Bloodlust is incredibly good with Sven, it lets him farm really quick, and then Bloodlust can lock people down in mid to late game team fights, which naturally is going to enable Sven to kill a lot of people. Most importantly, Ogre can frontline. And you might be saying, Ogre can frontline? Why would you need Ogre to frontline for a Sven? Isn't Sven kind of tanky? That just sounds absolutely ridiculous. The thing is, at a high level, frankly just at any level, most levels, Sven can get kited. Right? He can get kited. That's often been the hero's biggest issue. He gets kited through God Strength. Now they have fixed that up. They've made it much longer. But the point is, Ogre can bait people in. When people go on Ogre, they cast their spells. They lose focus. They focus on the Ogre. And because of that, the Sven can come in from the side and clean up the fight. Next up is Rubik and Drow. Rubik and Drow just hits you a lot. That's literally why it's good. Now, there's also other reasons. Fade Bolt and the combination of the slow from Drow makes it even easier to trade right clicks, which is all you're doing in this lane. But also, Rubik's ability to toss people away from the Drow is quite good. And if anyone oversteps even slightly and is half HP or less, you lift them into your lane, and there's no way they can run away from a level 2 Frost Arrows. It's absolutely impossible. And yeah, there's really not too much more to this lane. There's no particular synergy. It's just kind of like you auto attack a lot, and then Rubik protects the Drow and keeps auto attacking, and it's kind of about it. Next up is Void Lich, which actually does have some more synergies. The main thing I see about Void is that this hero is really good at manning up. You know who else is good at manning up? Lich. Lich is really good at manning up, especially at level 1 and level 2. Lich in particular is better than a lot of supports at level 1. Frost Blast is just an insane spell that not only slows, but does some of the highest damage in the game and is on one of the lowest cooldowns in the game. And Void is really good at trading. He has good armor, great movement speed, great base damage, and great level 1 and level 2 spells. The Bash and the Time Walk allow you to trade well at level 1 and level 2. Lich at level 1 and level 2 has 2 great spells, Frost Shield and Frost Blast, allowing you to not only do a ton of damage, but also allow you to actually get a ton of right clicks off on the Void. And there's no way anyone kills or does any damage to a Void who is Frost Shielded at level 1 or level 2. It is impossible to trade with that Void unless you literally have 10 stacks of sticky napalm on him. It's not going to work. And so all you have to do with this lane is hit level 2, even level 1. If someone oversteps and it's an easy lane, take your Bash, Frost Blast them, and auto attack them till they die. It will work. It just works. This lane just works. And the best part about it is mid-game, you chrono, and if you get 2 people even relatively close to each other, they die to Chain Frost. That combo is ridiculous. It does so much damage with Void. And finally, the last and dirtiest combo. This combo is ridiculous. Is Io Undying. Now I hear you. Who's the core? Io's the core. Io core and Io safe lane has actually been relatively popular. We've seen Miracle play it a couple times now in the pro scene, and I think it's pretty good. I do. I think it's strong. Most importantly, it's strong with a hero in lane that can abuse the sustain, or abuse the sustain. think about it. Why is Undying Io so strong? It's similar to the reason why Abaddon Io is also very good. That is also a great combo you can use as well. We saw it in TI 9 from OG. You guys can hate on me if I got that wrong. Basically, the purpose of this lane is Undying takes decay at level 1, his heal at level 2 and level 3, and then if he ever needs to heal, you cast it on the Io, and both of you heal. It's so good. It's so hard to trade into this Io, because also, when the Io overcharges, he gives even more regen to Undying, right? You give it even more regen to the Undying. Then, Undying is a high movement speed hero. I think the hero has 300 or 305, so when you tether, that percentage is even higher. You're going so fast. And if you guys know anything about Undying, you can't really trade with him. You build up a couple decays, and then you have to run away. But it's really hard to run away when he's zooming around at like 315 movement speed. That's so difficult to trade into, right? So that you have this Undying, who's not only faster, right? You're giga fast. You have infinite HP. Your Io basically has infinite HP. The enemy team has reduced strength, and you both actually have amped attack speed by 50 with level 1 overcharge, which is on like an 18-second cooldown for 50 mana that you can spam anytime you need to trade. You can't lose this lane. Like, it's insane. Like, think about how good that is. You literally have this Undying that, you know, it's like Call of Duty Zombies. You know the rounds where they were walkers, or whatever you want to call them. That's like some Walking Dead lingo, but it's like the rounds where they start sprinting. This is what Undying goes from, right? He goes from walker Call of Duty Zombie to sprinting one. You can't deal with it. It's so much harder to deal with. I don't know what I'm saying, guys, but thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I really recommend trying out this Io Undying lane. One of my friends, actually, I was playing a game with my friends, and they had the lane against it, and oh my god, it did not go well, to say the least. They did not win against the Io Undying. Especially if the enemy offlaner is like if you're trying to play the strength offlaner against it, GG. You have no chance. Like, you have no chance. If you're a melee, like Underlord or Tide or something like that, rip. Best of luck. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Sign up the Game Leap if you want to become broken. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Before you leave, just want to say a quick message. If you're trying to get better at Dota, or you just enjoyed that video, I know this is pretty general, and you're going to hear this quite a bit from me, but I recommend you sign up to gameleap.com. Why? Because I put a lot of effort into the content over there, and generally the effort I do there is different from the content you're going to see here on YouTube. It is different. In fact, I usually go a lot more in depth on topics, or into niche topics that help you get to the next level even faster. Because on YouTube, I often have to keep it more mainstream. And that's even why I'm putting it at the end of this YouTube video. That's why this is at the end, because a lot of people just watch 5 minutes, they skip through just for like the dopamine spike. But if you are interested in actually getting better at Dota, I recommend you go to the description down below, get your discount right now by clicking the link, sign up, use the discount code that you're going to see there, and I hope to see you there right now. So click it. And yeah, thanks for watching.